Namaste and Jai Gurudev to everyone. It's been wonderful to listen to the other speakers, and I feel inspired and blessed to be here tonight. And thank you for the opportunity to be on this webinar to share about my reflective thoughts, my experiences, and about my youth climate work in South Africa. So my only hope this evening is that whatever I share with you will inspire you with creative ideas for climate mobilization through youth climate advocacy and leadership. My work has been to make the connection between religion, spirituality, and climate change and translate it into actions and service for the earth and for God. So before I share a presentation on our youth work, I wanted to give a background to the motivation behind it. So I strongly believe that it is action that drives us to hope. And when you observe and reflect on the climate crisis, I found it becomes very easy to criticize, blame the other, become despondent, and basically to sit in anger and in depression. And this is why angry activists make less strides in their climate work as compared to people of faith. People of faith are people of heart, people of vision, people of wisdom and intellect. And because we are doing the divine's work, our superpower is love, right? And we see the world differently, and so we can change the narratives. So when I pause, observe, and reflect, I'm always in awe and in wonder of the earth and of the various expression of God and its creation. And if you really look at nature and how the ecosystems function and how everything is interconnected, it just leaves me in reverence and in respect for Mother Earth. You will see how intricate and how intelligent the design of creation is. Like every creature, human, and part of creation has a role to play in this universe, and that we are not here to determine who is more important than the other. And so this brings humility to help us to understand that we need to live holistically with the earth and with God's creation. And you'll see that each and every religion teaches this, whether it's knowledge that is coming from a scripture, a saint, or a guru. So we can observe that the human egocentric mind has distorted this connection between interfaith and environmental harmony through either by greed, possessiveness, overconsumption, and mass globalization. So we can see that Mother Earth selflessly cares. And if we added just love into everything we do, we will change the way we understand ourselves, the way we relate to the earth, to the animals, and to each other. So climate change for me is like a result of our unconscious actions. And so we need to educate ourselves to develop an eco-consciousness so that we don't continue to engage in more harmful actions against the earth. We have actually created this mess and this burden on the earth. And so it becomes everybody's responsibility to clean it up. And we have to try collectively in whatever small way we can, whether it's at grassroots levels by changing our daily behavior and lifestyles, or whether it's challenging policymakers at a national or global level. So we have to be willing to transform, to break our negative cyclic patterns and behaviors and unconscious thoughts and actions on the earth. And it's not easy. It's really not easy. It's a journey of self-commitment and self-motivation to always do actions that benefits the earth and humanity. And so in my Hindu faith, we refer to this as Loka Sangraha, which means doing actions for the welfare of humanity. And if we develop a connection between and build a relationship between the earth and ourselves, we begin to understand our unique purpose in it. So also again, in like the Hindu faith, we refer to this as Dharma. And we will see that we are just tenants on the planet and we cannot blatantly just destroy it and consume from it all the time. So we begin and to understand and see that it's important to develop an eco-consciousness through an identity of eco-spirituality to create a spiritual connection between human beings and the environment. So eco-spirituality is a term I like a lot and I use a lot. It incorporates having an intuitive and embodied awareness of all of life. And it engages us to see a relationship between person to planet, from the inner to outer landscape, and from the soul to the soil. And so this understanding creates a spiritual connection, and it develops an eco-consciousness of equitable distribution of the burdens of climate change and its mitigation and responsibilities in order to deal with it in a more positive way. And from my work, interfaith work, and my experience and being for the last 13 years in Religions for Peace, I've noticed that faith actors have a more awareness on the climate crisis, and many are working hard for positive climate action. The difficult task is how to communicate it to government, policymakers, and the greater community that is living in unawareness of it. And so people don't understand the ripple effect of a single action. One small action has a vibrational effect on the planet and can either heal or destroy it. So positive climate action through education and holistic actions is important for faith actors and the greater community to imbibe and implement themselves first, and then mobilize others and translate it into actions. So my favorite quote, which I always use in all of my work and my talks, is by Mahatma Gandhi. And he always says, be the change you wish to see in the world. And this is what motivates me for climate action. But as I said, it's a journey, it's an experience, and we have to have the right intention, objectives, and willingness. And so change and transformation starts first in our thoughts, and it filters into our actions. And this is why I am a big fan of climate youth leadership. So for me, young people are the agents of change. They are the current and future leaders and can hold other leaders to accountability. Young eco-activists are instrumental in mitigating in advocacy and influencing sustainable and holistic climate actions. And young eco-activists have the energy, the drive, and the passion to take leadership roles and mobilize positive action in their local communities on a national and a global level. We have to be that example of leadership that the world so needs right now, especially through the climate crisis. For me, the way I see things is that if the world is a big disappointment to us, we take the things we don't like about this world and we try to change it. We have the opportunity to be of service to Mother Earth, to God, to the animals, and to humanity. And no matter how small the action is, positive change starts with small acts of love and care. We start small and we pay it forward. We become that eco-leader and that eco-warrior of love, resilience, faith, courage, light, positivity, and compassion. And I heard Greshma in her earlier presentation echo this. No matter how small the acts are, it has to be of love and care. And this has been our motivational driving force for our Interfaith Youth Climate work in Durban, South Africa. Instead of focusing on the anger and feeding into the negative energy or the negative narratives, we've been trying to focus on the positives. So through this passion, positivity, and love for the earth, its creatures, and humanity, we stay motivated to be this hope of positive climate action. And therefore, our mission statement has been one earth, one humanity, and therefore it is our responsibility. Myself, I had been an instrument in creating the Religions for Peace Interfaith Youth Climate Forum by winning the Youth Peace Prize in 2018. It was born out of the Our Earth, Our Responsibility campaign by Religions for Peace International Global Interfaith Youth Network. Our campaign aimed to educate, engage, and advocate, and so far has been effective to spread awareness on climate change through positive community projects and interfaith dialogues. We try to educate the youth and community at large by showing how to translate this awareness into climate actions through various creative and fun activities. So our Religions for Peace Interfaith Youth Climate Forum incorporated and engaged in many action plans. And I want to share these strategic action plans with you so that it can inspire you with creative ideas and also create a movement in your country for youth climate advocacy and leadership. So I will share my presentation now with screen sharing, and I will share these 7 strategic plans that I created and implemented with divine guidance. Being an instrument in interfaith youth climate work, I found that the most important aspect of multi-sectorial collaboration is that it must be in conversation with God, a higher being, and Mother Earth. And for me, partnerships are very important because we cannot work in isolation. And when we work in partnerships and not in isolation, we make greater strides and greater progress. Basically, the way we've been calling it is planting seeds of love for Mother Earth, human climate action, and advocacy and leadership. And we have a Facebook page and a youth blog and a YouTube account, which I will share with you a bit later. But let me go through the strategy plans. So strategy number 1 is education. We engage in various climate change educational talks. We've had various educational school programs with many kids. There's been assembly talks, or whether we worked with like 100 students to 200 students. We did a program like 2 weeks ago, which was with 500 students in assembly area. And basically our talks are, it's fun. It's engaging with them in a different way. So we find creative ways to talk with them. And what we do is we share the resource guide on climate change by Religions for Peace. You can see at the bottom here, this is the book. And we also, I provide posters for the schools as well. And what I do is I share information on the earth meditation that we do with them, and also on certain plants and trees that we propagate. So we literally propagate the vetiver grass and speckbone plant. The speckbone plant is a South African plant, and it takes up literally 99% of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. The vetiver grass is also another engineering plant. It helps to purify water, but also it allows to retain soil. So this is good for soil erosion in places where there's flooding and, when banks give away. And the vetiver grass, what's so amazing about it is in the Hindu culture, it's referred to as Kush grass, which is Lord Vishnu's hair. And so it's seen as the grass that we use in most of our prayers and our rituals. So it's very interesting that we've been propagating this grass. And what is also so interesting is that the local African mamas, they use this vetiver grass and they make baskets out of it. They make mats out of it. So they also use it as a way of sustainable income for them. And what we found with the other programs we have to promote education is we have interfaith climate dialogues. We have eco workshops, learning to care for the earth and animals through various religious scriptural teachings. So the resource guide on climate change has like scriptures from each religion that helps us to connect to the earth. And so we're trying to create a different kind of holistic educational system. So on top here, you would see this has been a program we had at Nizam Eco Gardens. And here we had a Christian community that joined us, and we did a lot of planting at the school. And we had a program where people from different organizations shared what they're doing in the local community and how they've created massive vegetable gardens to feed the community. And it was so inspiring because we all got a chance to hear about each other's work, learn from each other, and then feel more inspired to be in the movement. In here, I provide some pictures to show you of the various workshops and educational programs we had. So the first one here you see was I did a program with Educare. And here, this was an animal shelter that was burnt down, and we got together, we collected food for the animals, we got the children involved, the parents involved, and we did a program where the organization came and they spoke about the animals and how to look after and care for them. So it was teaching kids from a young age on how to care for animals and for the earth. Then these were other schools that I've attended. I did a lot of school programs with various organizations, usually Habitat Foundation and Lion Clubs, Durban Host, and Religions for Peace South Africa is involved with us. And each person has their own section to share knowledge with the kids. The one at the bottom is, it happened at the Festival of Alternatives, where it was mostly with the climate activists. And so here I did a workshop on scriptures, teaching educational system, connecting to the earth, understanding ourselves, but at the same time, a social media workshop. So how to use social media in a positive way to promote your climate work. And then the last picture here, you would see, this was recently, I did it like 3 weeks ago. This was a workshop with educators. So what I found is that when I was going to the various schools, the educators weren't involved in our programs. And when the educators aren't involved and the teachers aren't involved in the programs, it's like the students are not in like paying much attention. So what I did was I got in a partnership with One Voice South Africa, and we arranged for a workshop, and we got about 19 educators and facilitators, and I did a whole 4-hour workshop with them, like understanding our relation to Earth, explaining what climate change is and how they can mobilize their schools and their students to do climate action. So because our funding is limited, so we can't reach out to every rural schools. And so the idea was to get the teachers to educate them and empower them in youth climate advocacy and leadership. And then they can become the key that promotes this in their schools and do projects with the youth. And then strategy 2 was eco-spirituality and eco-consciousness. So we did a lot of interfaith prayers and earth meditation. The earth meditation helps us to improve our connection between humanity and planet Earth. And it's all about offering love, light, and gratitude and positive energy to the people and Mother Earth. And the benefits of this, like any meditation, is increased self-awareness, improve emotional well-being, feeling more grounded, more positive changes in attention, being more positive, better handling stress management, and having a deeper connection to the planet. And so it's about practicing gratitude, being grateful to Mother Earth for all the things that she selflessly gives to us. So we've been promoting the earth meditation a lot. This earth meditation was actually given to me by my guru, Paramamsa Vishwananda, and I've been incorporating it in all our climate programs. So you see the first one here, I did the earth meditation with 500 kids at Inkosi Bombo Secondary School in a township. Here, the second one I did with 3 schools in Phoenix. And then we did with the creche educate kids. And then we've been doing also senior programs. So it's not just promoting and engaging with youth. We also engage with the greater community, which is adults. So we actually did a program with Sukya Mahikari and the Baha'i community as well. So in the last picture, you can see here with all the elders and, doing the earth meditation with them as well. Then strategy 3 was community service and food security. We did many beach cleanups. We promote, at all our programs, we give food to people out of our funding, and we only promote vegan food and healthy food. So that way it's also to encourage people to change their habits and their lifestyles. And what we've been doing a lot is, especially in the African country, rural areas and even in the Indian communities, there's a lot of food scarcity. So to have food security, we've been promoting to plant vegetable gardens. So each of our programs, we've been sponsoring vegetables. We've been getting the community together to plant. We've teamed up with Greenpeace, the local Durban group, and we've been doing a demonstration on seeds and how they can propagate seeds again, and how, giving more knowledge about seeds. And then we also teamed up with 360.org and VESA, and we did a compost training. So we had 2 compost trainings so far. So we got all the local mamas from the communities. We got the youth together, and we just got together and we learned how to make our own compost. So it's to encourage and inspire people to start their own food gardens at home. And so we found that this was a way to get people get their hands back into the earth and to want to grow their own food so that it's organic, it's fresh, and it's like coming from your garden. So it's also supporting the local aspects of things. So here I give more pictures of every program we had at schools. We get all the kids together. We get sponsorship for trees. They are planting trees. They're planting vegetable gardens. We're planting flowers to beautify the schools. And we're just like creating one big movement. And what's amazing is after every program, I always go with the intention to teach, but I end up learning lots of things myself. And I get really inspired by these kids as well, and their enthusiasm and their passion, and, for them to want to be engaging in nature. And then the 4th strategy was activism, marches, petitions, and veganism. So we engage a lot with social media by promoting and signing petitions. We promoted and signed a petition with Greenpeace South Africa, where due to the floods that happened in Durban last year, all the sewer systems got destroyed. So the sewer was being pumped into the oceans and the rivers, and fishes were dying by tons. And we were trying to get the local municipality to see this, this is urgent and you need to work faster to fix the sewer pumps and all these sewer pipes so that we can prevent disaster happening in our neighborhood and also prevent the increase of E. coli bacteria. So we got involved into a petition. And we also attended the lecture by Mia Mottley. She's the Prime Minister of Barbados. She came to Durban and she did the Nelson Mandela lecture. And so we all also attended it, and she spoke about sustainability, which was very encouraging and it was inspirational. I mean, the first two pictures just show like we distribute food packs, whether it's biscuits, we distribute food, and at all our programs, we use paper that's showing to be recycled. We use wooden utensils. We encourage meatless Mondays. We encourage veganism so that we can translate our, actions into positivity. And even we tell people, if you can't be vegan, at least eat less meat. Do a meatless Monday. So that way you are contributing in reducing your carbon footprint, because everything adds up at the end of the day. And then the bottom, you would see that we got together. I think there was over 30 organizations that got together, and we did a youth climate march in Durban City Hall. And here we were protesting against the fracking of Shell. Shell wanted to frack the oceans nearby. And so we were trying to, bring attention to municipality to say, we are against this. So, and then the last picture shows we had a beach cleanup. And then strategy 5 was creativity. So to engage people, we're always looking for creative ways to engage people. So we work with a lot of art projects, creative writing, vegan cooking. We do a lot of earth song and dance. Sometimes we do it in the Zulu language. We celebrated World Ocean Day and World Environmental Day through art competitions. We engage in online vegan cooking webinars, teaching people about the earth, and so our workshops encourages a lot of group participation as well. So there's been icebreakers, team building, group exercises, climate pledges, poetry and storytelling. We found that poetry and storytelling is a very good way of developing an eco autobiography, and it brings about a lot of reflection as well. So we do a lot of self-analysis and group exercises. And this helps to develop that eco-consciousness and develop that eco-spirituality to build a relationship and understand your relationship to the earth, to nature, and how you can find that connection for yourself. So the first picture shows some artwork from some schools. The first picture on this slide also shows Ocean Day artwork that we had. And the bottom slides show like we've given prizes and certificates to all the students that attended. And you know what amazed me? I went to a really poor school, and one of the kids, we called her name and we gave her a prize and a certificate, and she was crying. And I was like so touched by it, because I didn't understand how the small act was a way of encouraging them to learn and learn about climate change and about the earth and find that connection for themselves. And then the second picture at the top is we went to a disabled school. And this was amazing because at the school, these kids don't have hands and legs, but they were so engaged in our program and they wanted to learn. They listened to all our talks. They did the earth meditation with us. And then what we did is we collected old tires. We brought it to the school and we did an art project with the kids, and we got them to paint it, and then we planted vegetables in it, and they loved it. And it was so amazing because there were kids that didn't have legs, but they got off their wheelchair and they went on the floor and they engaged with us in this project. So I found it very, very inspirational. Strategy number 6 was multi-faith intergenerational partnerships. So we always try to be inclusive, working with youth, seniors, and various organizations to build interfaith partnerships and friendships. And we want to show that multi-faith solidarity. So our programs has been in partnership with various organizations. as mentioned before, Greenpeace Durban, Local Grove, Habitat Foundation, the Lions Durban Club, VESA360.org, the Phoenix Gandhi Settlement. We actually did a program at Phoenix Gandhi Settlement. You'll see it, the first one, where we shared about Mahatma Gandhi's teachings, and Ms. Ella Gandhi was there, and she gave a talk, and, it was a really wonderful day for all of us. And what we found is when we work in partnerships, we make greater progress, and also we are able to help and support each other, because the other organizations may not have funding and I may have funding. So I'll provide the lunch, I'll provide the trees. And if the other organizations will be like, okay, I can provide like spec-borne plants. And so they provide spec-borne plants for all my events as well. So it becomes a partnership of helping and supporting each other. And then the last strategy is the social media and networking. So everybody is always on their phone, and it's a digital age, and people are glued to their phone. So we take advantage of that. We've got YouTube accounts, Facebook accounts, we've got a blog, and we using social media, WhatsApp and Telegram, and we want to inspire people, motivate people, and mobilize people into action. And what was amazing was our youth blog was recognized by SAFC, which is the South African Faith Communities Environmental Institute, as a social healing response to help the youth and community. Because what I did was, I've got youth that were affected by the floods in Durban, and I got them to write about it and relate it back to these scriptures and back to the teachings and understanding the lessons in it, and share it with everyone. And as you can see, the first picture is the EcoPeace Teen Cafe, which we were with Greshma, and she invited me to be on and talk about my work as well. We also attended POD conference. It was the annual Forum on Religion and Sustainable Development 2022 conference. And I also gave two talks as well. And so there's lots of potential for online to be involved in webinars and giving talks. These are just some of our previous webinars. We did one where we did for Earth Day. We had each youth sharing about their religion and their faith and relating it back to the earth and how we can connect to it. We did also another webinar for World Environmental Day about how we can move values into action and what is our faith teaching us. And then also the network of change, I think it's the Peacemakers Change of Network or something. Sorry, I think I got the name wrong. But the World Council of Churches, they invited us for a webinar to talk there as well, to see youth as agents of change and how we can inspire and mobilize people. And then the other two webinars, the first one was with Religions for Peace International and Yale University. And we all read the book, Religion and Ecology. And so we had a discussion about it, which was a great learning experience. And the last one is with SAFC as well, partnering up with them and also learning from the indigenous and traditional people that were present at their webinars and learning from traditions as well. And thank you for giving me this opportunity to share. I hope that whatever I shared with you, inspires for youth action, youth leadership, youth mobilization.